Environment. Environment is nothing but instance of force.com. The moment I say instance of force.com, what we are going to have? Infrastructure. On the top of infrastructure, your operating system. On the top of operating system, we have the softwares, tools, and the database. Now, all this together, it is what? Infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, on the top of infrastructure, OS, softwares, tools, database. All together, we call it as instance of force.com. All together, we call it as instance of force.com. Now, this force.com, it is called environment. Instance of force.com, which is called environment. I can have multiple instances. For every organization, we give different instance of force.com. So, environment is nothing but instance of force.com, where we can build our application or where we can run our application. It is an instance of the force.com where I can build my applications or where I can run my applications. Now, when you are looking at this environment, they are classified into three formats: production environment, developers environment, testing environment. My environments are classified into three types. One is production environment, second is testing environment, third one is your development environment. Now we'll understand what are these and how they will be used. Let us take the first basic definition. Environment. It is a instance of force.com. We can build new applications or customize existing applications using this environment. We can customize, where we can build new application or customize the applications. Force.com environment is required to run all the Salesforce CRM application. So environment, it is an instance of force.com. We can build new applications or customize the existing application. Force.com environment is required to run all the Salesforce CRM applications developed by the Salesforce. These environments are classified into three types. One is production, second is developers environment, testers environment. Testing. Now, what is the difference between this production, developers environment, testers environment? Let us understand the things clearly. What is this production environment, developers environment, and testers environment? Look at this example. ICICI Bank. Look at this environment. Everyone, listen to this carefully. ICICI Bank, they want to build ICICI Bank want to build a banking application on the Salesforce environment, and they found that one of the Salesforce application is suitable to their requirement. ICICI Bank want to process the credit card management. They want a software to run the credit card management operations. So they are looking for a CRM application. They found Salesforce application is suitable. So what these people have done? So ICICI Bank people have purchased this application from Salesforce. They purchased this application from Salesforce. After purchasing this application from Salesforce, they purchased this application from Salesforce and they are using it. Now when I am using it, I found some of the functionalities are not according to my requirement. Most of the application is meeting my requirement, but some of the functionalities are not meeting according to my requirement. So what I want, whichever the functionalities are not designed according to me, I want those functionalities to be modified. So what I have done, whatever the application I am using here, the same application I have created as one copy. I gave this copy to IBM. I told boss, this is the current application what I am using. Okay, make the following changes in this application to make my application as per my requirement. Boss, this is the current application what I purchased. I want the following changes to be made on this application to meet up my requirement. So what IBM has done, it recruited some developers, asked these people to modify this application. Now what is the difference between these two? These people have application along with customer data. These people have application along with customer data. Whatever the customers who have applied for the credit card, their data is with these people. ICICI Bank has application along with the customer data, customers live data. Whoever has applied the credit card, for whom I have sanctioned the credit card, the payments what they made, the collections what I made, entire data is with me. What did I give to IBM? Only the application. Whatever the application I am using, exact application I gave to IBM. What the IBM people have? Entire application without data. So this is my business data. I cannot give this data outside. This is my business data, right? So what is there in the production? Production is the environment where your live data is stored. It is the environment where your live data is stored. It is the environment where data required to run your business logic is stored. These IBM people have exactly the same application what I have, but they don't have live data. Actually, the business data, whoever has applied for the loan, whom did I sanction, for whom I rejected, what are the transactions they made, what are the payments they made, all this data is with the ICICI. Now, instance of Force.com, what is available with ICICI, it is called production environment. Production means application along with the live data. Now for developers, what I need to give? Only application. I will not give them data. Now, if I want to make any changes here, if I am making any new programs here, it should not disturb this. So what was this? I am giving independent copy to the developers to make their changes. If everything is okay, I will ask them to deploy to production. So what is the production now? Production is a instance of Force.com where live data is stored. Both of them have what? Same Force.com, same application. But what is missing? Live data is missing. So let us take the first definition. What was the first one? Production environment. Production environment. It is a instance of Force.com. Production environment. It is an instance of Force.com where this will contain live data or data required to run the business logic. So what is the production? It is an instance of force.com where live data is stored or the data required to run the business logic is stored. It is the environment where live data is stored or data required to run the business logic is stored. Then we have developers environment. What is the developers environment? It is a instance of a force.com. This is independent from production environment. It is designed for development activities customizations without affecting the production. If the developers want to enhance the application or if they want to add any new functionalities, then they'll be doing on developer environment. It is independent from production but exact copy of production. Whatever the application we have in the production, same application is given to developers where the developers will be trying to enhance the application or customize the application. It is the environment where developers will develop or enhance the application. It is a designed for development and customization without affecting the production. I hope you are clear with this. Then testers environment. What is the purpose of this? This is a design for testing purpose. It is an instance of force.com. It is a designed for testing activities without affecting the production. So, how many types of environments we have? Production environment, developers environment, testing environment. Production is what? Live application with live data. Production is a live application with live data. Developers environment is, it is an environment where the developers will work to enhance the application or customize the application. Testing environment is designed for testing the application without affecting the production. Testing environment is designed for testing the application without affecting the production environment. I hope you are clear. So live application is production. The place or environment where developers will work to customize the application is developers environment. The place where testers will work to test the application is called testing environment. I hope I am good with this. So how many types of environments we have? 3 types of environment. Now the question is, how will you provide this environment? Any environment with the live data is a production, okay. Environment where the developers can work is a developers environment. But how will you create this environment? So listen to this concept carefully. So generally, what will be there in the production? Live application. If it is a live application, what will be there? Tables will be there to store the data. We have a tables to store the data, and we have some programs. I have some tables where data is stored. And I have some programs here. Some business rules, some pages, some rules. Then I have some settings. Right. Some basically, if it is an application, there will be some programs, some rules, some logic, some settings, some pages. I have a table with data. I have some table with data. Okay. Now, in the production, I told you, production will have live data. So it has Satish, $10,000. Hari. So it has application with the live data. It is an application with live data. Now it is a production. Tables, programs, rules, settings, everything along with live data. Live data. Now I am keeping a copy of the production. Whatever we have, the same production copy I am taking. So what did I take? I took a copy of production. Whatever the production is there, production will have complete application with live data. Now I have taken a copy of the production. When I took a copy of it, what is missing here? Data. So apart from data, whatever the structure we have taken, it is called metadata. What is this called? Metadata. Except data, if I take anything, it is called metadata. In the table, if I remove the data, remaining entire structure is called metadata. Now, from production, what did I take? Copy of production's metadata. Copy of production's metadata. Exact production without live data is called sandbox. What is this called? Sandbox. What is a sandbox? Sandbox is a identical copy of production's metadata. Right now, whatever the application is running on the production, same copy of the application if I take, it is a metadata. It is a metadata. So, copy of production's metadata is called sandbox. It is called sandbox. Now, if a tester want to test it, what do you need? Now, if a tester want to test it, he also requires some sample data. If you don't provide any data, if you don't provide live data, I cannot test the application. So, what is this? Tell me now. It is a copy of production's metadata plus data. It may be 1 record or 10 record or 1000 record. Now, this is a copy of production's metadata. This is a copy of production's metadata and data. What are these two things called? Sandbox. They are called as sandbox. What is a sandbox? Sandbox is a identical copy of production's metadata or metadata and data. What is the purpose of these sandboxes? We use the sandboxes for development, testing and training. If a new employee joined in ICICI Bank, one new manager joined. Now, when a new manager joined, I have to train him how to use my ICICI banking application. Where will I train him? I cannot train him on the live environment. So I require a dummy of the same application. What is that? sandbox. So what type of activities you are going to do? Development activities, testing activities, training activities are done on sandboxes. So in the company, you are going to work on what? Sandbox. You are going to work on what? Sandbox. On the production, administrator will be working. Administrator will be working on production. Being a developer or a tester, you will be working on sandbox. Sandboxes are designed for what? Development activities, testing activities, and training activities. If you want to perform development, testing, or training, we are going to work on sandboxes. I hope you are good with this. Am I clear? Okay. So let me show you a quick points here. Sandbox. Sandbox is a identical copy of production environment. It is a instance of it is an identical copy of production's environment. I can say production's metadata or metadata and data. Identical copy of production's metadata or metadata and data. It is an instance of force.com. It is an instance of force.com. It is designed for development, testing, it is designed for development, testing, and training activities. It is a design for development, testing, and training activities. Sandbox is a identical copy of production's metadata or metadata and data. It is an instance of force.com. It is designed for development, testing, and training activities. It is designed for development, testing, and training activities. Sandboxes are classified into 4 types. Developer sandbox, developer pro sandbox, partial copy sandbox, full sandbox. Developer sandbox, developer pro sandbox, partial copy sandbox, full sandbox. Sandboxes are classified into 4 types. Developer sandbox, developer pro sandbox, partial copy sandbox, full sandbox. There are 4 types of sandboxes what we have designed. So look at this. Sandboxes are created from the production. Sandboxes are created from production. So look at this, everyone. Everyone look at this. I am logging into my production. I am logging into live production. On your trial account, sandboxes will not be created. On the live production only, the sandboxes will be created. So this is one of my live instance. Now in the live instance, right now, at this moment, whatever that is there in my production. Right now at this moment, whatever we have in the production, my application is a sales cloud, service cloud, and marketing cloud. All the three clouds are there in this production. Now, right now at this moment, whatever that is there in the production, I am creating it. Deploy, what we had, sandbox, new, IT state 1, next. Now what is that? A new sandbox is created. New sandbox is created. New sandbox. Now in the sandbox, what will be there? At this moment, whatever we have in the production, exact same metadata is created. Now I want a developer to log in and add a new button in the existing application. On the existing application, on this page, I want cancel button to be added here. I want the developer to log in, add cancel button here. So what should I do? I have to give him exact application what I am finding now. So what I will do, setup, I am trying to create a sandbox, new sandbox. I have created a sandbox. Now this sandbox I will be giving to the developer. He will log into the sandbox. He will add the code. If everything is okay, he will deploy it to production. Are you clear about this? Right? So from where are we creating the sandbox? From the production we are creating. When you are creating the sandbox, at that time, whatever we have in the production, same copy will be coming to the sandbox. Now look at this example. Look at this example. If you look at this example, I have created a sandbox called Feroz QA on which date? 9th of this month. 9th of this month I have created this. Or else let us see this. On May 1st or June 1st, July 1st, I created this sandbox. When I created this sandbox, whatever that is there on the July 1st, that copy is there in the sandbox. Later on, lot of changes are done in the production. If you want these changes to be reflected into the sandbox, then what will happen? I was supposed to click on refresh. When I click on refresh, what will happen? Old copy of sandbox will be removed. Right now at this moment, whatever that is there in the production, that is copied to the sandbox. Now what is the meaning of refresh? Remove old instance of the sandbox and create new instance of production. Whatever we have in the sandbox, remove the old copy and create a fresh copy of the production, which is called refresh. From where are you going to refresh? From the production, we are going to refresh. When I click on refresh, so old copy is removed, new copy is going to be refreshed. Old copy is removed, new copy is going to be refreshed. So, right. Old copy is removed, new copy is going to be created. So refresh. It is a refresh. There is some internal error here. Okay. Right. So that is the meaning of refresh. When you say refresh, remove the old instance and create the fresh instance. Some internal error there, so it is not refreshing on that point. But when you click on the refresh, what will happen? Old copy is removed, fresh copy is uploaded. So what is the meaning of refresh? When we click on refresh, old instance of production is removed from sandbox. New current instance of production So whatever we have, whatever the old instance we have, that is removed, and the current instance is copied, which is called refresh. And refresh is done from refresh is done from refresh is done from production. Refresh is done from production. So if you want to work with the Salesforce, first we should know what are the different types of environments we have, and each environment is used for what. That's what we are supposed to understand. Okay. Now let us start with the first topic, developer sandbox. Then what is the purpose of developer sandbox? Why we are going to use it? What is the purpose of developer sandbox? Why we are going to use it? Now listen to the concept carefully. Developer sandbox. The purpose of developer sandbox is it is designed for individual developer development activities. Now in the company there are 10 developers working. Every developer will have its own system. Whatever the program you write, that is saved on your system. But it is a cloud. When you say cloud, nothing should be saved on your system. So for you, separate instance should be given where all the code what you wrote should be saved. If you are working on your system, whatever the program I write, that is saved on my system. But when I say cloud, nothing should be saved on your system. So whatever I write, that should be saved in the cloud. So they are giving separate instance of Forge.com to you, where you can log in, write your own programs and save your programs. So it is like a individual developers development environment, just like working on your personal account. If you want to use a Gmail, what they give you? For your separate username, password, when you log in, you got a separate account. So where you can save your mails or receive your mails. Like that, for every developer, they have designed one developer sandbox. Developer sandbox is designed for individual developer development activities. Developer sandbox is designed for individual developer development activities. How many people can log in? Only one person. How many people can log in? Only one person. Let us say this. Right. For every developer, they have designed one developer sandbox. Developer sandbox. So for every developer, they have given developer sandbox, where every developer can log in, work on their environment. Now, what is a developer sandbox? It is a copy of production's metadata. Where is a developer sandbox? It is a copy of production's metadata. When I go to production, I am going to create here. I am going to create here. When I go to production, go to the production. Now they are asking developer sandbox. They are asking what? Developer sandbox. When I say developer sandbox, right now whatever that is there in the production, the complete metadata is copied and a new account is created for me. So developer sandbox is a copy of production's metadata. What is the developer sandbox? It is a instance of Forge.com. It is a identical copy of productions metadata. It is an identical copy of production's metadata. It is an identical copy of production's metadata. No data will be transferred. It is designed for what? It is designed for productions. It is designed for productions. Sorry, it is designed for development activities by individual developer. It is designed for development activities by individual developer. How many people can log in? One developer can log in and make his own programs and save it. Whatever the programs he is writing, whatever the changes he is making, that will be on this account. Now, when they are giving a separate account for you, what is the space? What is the space of this account? So, data space. Data space 200 MB. Data space 200 MB. When you say data space 200 MB, maximum amount of data what we can store is 200 MB. It is a developer's environment. Okay, developer, if you want to take some data for testing, he can enter the data. 200 MB means 10 lakh records. Will any developer create 10 lakh records for testing? No. It is a maximum space. It is more than enough for us or developer. So what is the maximum size of the data what we can store? 200 MB. Data. Data means what? Records in the table. Then we have file size. What is the file size? 200 MB. In case if you want to upload any images, documents, files, PDF, the maximum size is 200 MB. Activities. Activities. Development and testing by individual. Development and testing by individual developer. A refresh interval. In a day, how many times I can take a fresh copy from production? In a day, how many times I can take a fresh copy? One time in a day. You are a developer. You have to deploy. Every day you will not take a fresh copy from production. You are a developer. You are going to write a program. You are going to deploy to production. So every day at max, how many times I can take a fresh copy? One time. Right. Let us go to the next one. So developer sandbox is designed for individual developer development activities. Individual developer development activities. It is an identical copy of production's metadata. No data will be given from production, only metadata will be given. Then it is a design for what? Development activities. It is a design for development activities by a individual developer. What is the size of the data? 200 MB. File size 200 MB. Activities development and testing by a individual developer. Refresh interval one time in a day. Now, if a group of people are working, all the three people are working on one functionality. Once they have done, what should I do? I have to merge their code into one particular environment where I have to join all this code and work. So what is this environment called? Developer Pro. It is for what? Integration, integrating the individual environments, clubbing the code. Now, Developer Pro. It is designed for a group of people to work together. It is also designed for what? Development activity. Now all the three people are working on same functionality and they have written page 1, page 2, page 3. We need to join all the three codes. Where will you join? Developer Pro. 3 developers are working on the same, okay, same functionality. Developer 1 designed page 1, developer 2 page 2, developer 3 page 3. Now I need to join all the 3, make a functionality. So where do I do it? Developer Pro. Now Developer Pro is also designed for development activities, but not by a single user, group of users. Developer Pro is also designed for development activities by a group of users. It is also a copy of production's metadata. It is also a copy of production's metadata because it is designed for development activities. I hope you are good with this. Am I clear? Individually, if you want to work, Developer Sandbox, and if you want to club all this code into one environment, Developer Pro. So I am giving here Developer Pro Sandbox. It is a instance of Forge.pro. It is a identical copy of production's metadata. No data will be given from production. No data will be given from production. It is designed for development activities by a, it is designed for development activities by a group of developers. It is designed for development activities by a group of developers. Then data size, because we are going to join code from multiple sandboxes, size has to be more. So 1 GB. Data size, file size, activities, of developers. Then we had then development testing by a group of developers and integration testing. Refresh interval. How many times I can refresh? Refresh interval 1 time in a day. Refresh interval 1 time in a day. So basically, what is the difference you are finding? Size is more, space is more. The space is more in this. It is also just like your developer sandbox only, but it has additional space and it has integration testing. One extra feature is integration testing and it has extra space. So developer sandbox, only one developer can log in. Developer Pro, multiple developers can log in. Developer sandbox, only one developer can log in. Developer Pro, multiple developers can log in. Right? It is also used for integration testing. Right? 99.99% you'll be working on developer sandbox. 99.99% you'll be working on developer sandbox in the company. And some cases I'll use full copy sandbox for testing. Otherwise, being a developer, generally 99% will be working on developer sandbox. Right, boss? Okay. Look at this. Because we are an individual developer. You are an individual developer. 99% you are going to work on developer sandbox. Then what we have next? partial copy sandbox. Now we want to test it. Whatever the development activity you have done, I want to test it. So what was this called? Partial copy. Partial copy sandbox. What is this partial copy sandbox? It is purely designed for testing purpose. It is purely designed for testing purpose. If you are going for a testing, what I need? I need productions metadata plus sample data. How many records? 10,000 records for each table. Maximum how many records you can take? 10,000 records for each table from the production. So partial copy sandbox is designed for testing activities. It is designed for testing activities. It is designed for testing activities. All type of testing we can do here except load testing and performance testing. There are two different types of testings called load testing and performance testing. Except these two type of testing, all type of testings we can perform on this partial copy. So if you want to make a testing, we require a live data from production. How much data we can take? 10,000 records we can take from each table. Maximum how many records we can take? 10,000 records. So partial copy sandbox is a identical copy of productions metadata plus sample data. How much data? Maximum 10,000 records for each table. What type of activities we can do here? We can do testing activities. All type of testing. Basically it is designed for what? Testing activities. It is designed for what? Testing activities. This sandbox is designed for testing activities. How many people can log in? Multiple number of people can log in. In the developer pro sandbox, in the partial copy, multiple people can log in. Now, what type of testing is not allowed here? Load and performance. Generally, it is called UAT environment. User acceptance testing environment. This is also called as UAT environment. User acceptance testing environment. User acceptance testing environment. I hope you are clear. Now let us take the points here. It is a identical copy of, or it is an instance of force.com. It is a identical copy of productions metadata and it is an identical copy of productions metadata and data. Now when you say data, it is only sample data. We can take a sample data of 10,000 records. We can take a sample data of 10,000 records per object. We can take a sample data of 10,000 records per object. It is a design for testing activities. It is a design for testing activities. Data space, data size. Because it is taking a sample data, the data size will be more, 5 GB. Then file size, activities, all type of testing, all type of testing except load testing and performance testing. All type of testing including load testing and performance testing. All type of testing include except load testing and performance testing. Refresh interval. One time in every 5 days. Refresh interval. One time in every 5 days. It is also known as UAT environment. It is also known as UAT environment. User acceptance environment. It is also known as UAT environment, user acceptance testing environment. So we have partial copy environment. Right, boss? It is a design for what? Testing activities. Developer and developer pro are designed for development activities. Partial copy is designed for testing purpose. So what is the last sandbox we had? Full sandbox. It is also designed for testing purpose. Now, what will be done? All type of testing, including load testing and performance testing. When I say full sandbox, it is a copy of production's metadata and data. It is not sample data, complete data. It is a copy of production's metadata and complete data. So full sandbox is a identical copy of production's metadata and data. It is a design for what? Testing activities. What type of testing we can perform? All type of testing we can perform, including load and performance testing. Right. Including load and performance. It is also called as staging environment. It is also called as staging environment. It is also called as which environment? Staging. One step before the deployment. One step before the deployment. So let us look at the last sandbox. So we are going. This is a instance of. It is a identical copy of productions metadata and data. It is designed for testing activities. It is designed for testing activities. It is designed for testing activities. It is also called as staging environment. It is also called as staging environment. Data size, file size, exact size of activities, all type of testing, including refresh interval, one time in every 29 days. So it is a design for testing activity. You will have exact data what is there in the production, metadata with complete data in the production. It is a design for all type of testing. Basically, what type of testing we can do? Load testing and performance testing. It can do load testing and performance testing. Basically, it is designed for load testing and performance testing. I hope you are clear. So sandboxes are designed for development, testing and training. If you want to carry out the training, generally what we do, the developer pro sandbox and a partial copy will give training. If you want to give a training, where I will give developer pro or partial copy. So note, training activities will be performed on developer pro or partial copies. Training activities are performed on developer pro or partial copy sandbox. Training activities are performed on developer pro or partial copy sandbox. I hope you are good with this. So where are the developers working? Developer sandbox or developer pro. Where are the testers working? Partial copy or full. Where is the administrator working? On the production. So where are the sandboxes created from? Sandboxes are created from production. First we are going to purchase application from Salesforce. We are going to purchase application from Salesforce, which is a production. On that application, whatever the data we are going to enter, that will be saved. If you want that application to be modified, we will create a sandboxes and give it to the developers. They will log into the sandbox, they will develop the code. I hope you are clear. First, what we are going to do, purchase predefined application from Salesforce. Whatever the application Salesforce has developed, we are going to purchase those applications. Then we are going to run that application. While using it, if you want any changes to be made, I will create a sandbox, give it to the developer. Developer will log into the sandbox, make the necessary changes, test the application. If everything is okay, he will deploy. He will deploy to the production. So what is the meaning of deployment? Now I told deploy. What is the meaning of deployment? Moving the metadata changes. You wrote a program. Program is called as what? Metadata. You created a page. It is called as metadata. It is not only in Salesforce. Any programming language, same term called metadata. It is not only in Salesforce. Any technology you take, now the complete application without data is called metadata. You wrote a program, it is called metadata. You wrote a page, metadata. You created a table, metadata. So moving the metadata changes from one environment to another environment is called deployment. What is the meaning of deployment? Moving the metadata changes. Metadata changes means changes we made on program, changes we made on pages, changes we made on logics, changes we made on rules. If you make the changes, if you push the changes from one copy to another copy, it is called deployment. I hope you are clear. What is a deployment? Moving the metadata changes from one environment to another environment is called deployment. What is migration? Moving the data from one environment to another environment is migration. Data migration. Migrating the data from one environment to another environment is called data migration. Moving the metadata changes from one environment to another environment is called deployment. I hope you are clear. Okay. So what is the deployment? Moving the metadata changes on environment. Is called deployment. Data migration. Moving the data from one environment to called data migration. Moving the data from one environment to another environment is called data migration. Moving the metadata changes from one environment to another environment is called deployment. I hope you are good with this. Right, because it's a cloud, we will go to the production, we will create some sandboxes. Those sandboxes are given to developers, testers, and they are going to work on those sandboxes. Then they are going to deploy to production. I hope you are good. On the cloud, what will you get first? Production we are going to get. On the cloud, Salesforce will give you production. From the production, what we are going to create? Sandboxes. That sandboxes will be given to your developers and testers. After testing everything, they will deploy to production. After testing everything, they will deploy to production. I hope you are clear. Okay. Now look at the overall flow. Anyone has any queries on this? Look at the overall flow. Generally, any application, any technology you take, this is the format what we follow. Any technology you take, generally application flow will be like this. So we are going to have then it will go to QA environment, quality assurance, then it goes to QA to UAT environment, UAT to staging, staging to production. Now you take any technology, application flow is going to be generally like this. Developers, then they are going to merge the code and create a quality assurance environment, QA to environment, QA environment. From the QA, it goes to user acceptance testing environment. From user acceptance testing, it goes to staging. From staging, it will be deployed to production. So in terms of Salesforce, what did we create for a developer? Developer and QA environment is developer. UAT is partial. Then it is full set. Irrespective of your technology, this is the general flow of your application. In any technology, the people will follow the given structure. Developers will develop the code, send it to the QA. In the QA, they are going to merge it. Then they are going to send it to UAT. In the UAT, they are going to test it. If everything is okay, they will send it to load testing and performance testing. If everything is working fine, then they go for the production. This is the general format. Now same in terms of Salesforce, development work is done on developer sandbox, QA work is done on developer pro sandbox, UAT is done on partial copy, then we have staging which is a full sandbox, Then we will send it to production. I hope you got it. Right, boss? So where are the developers working? Developer Sandbox or Developer Pro. Where are the testers working? Partial copy or full copy. What is the difference between Developer Sandbox and Tester Sandbox? Developer environment and testers environment. What is the difference? Developer environment will have only productions metadata. Testers environment will have productions metadata and data. It may be a sample data or complete data. Right. Then, now where is the training carried out? Training is generally given on Developer Pro or partial. Mostly partial copy. Okay. Next. This is the complete structure. From where are you going to create the sandboxes? From the production. From the Salesforce, what they give you first? When you go to the Salesforce and ask for an application, they give a production with a force.com and application. In the production, what will be there? Force.com. On the top of force.com, application, what do you expected? Then from that I am creating a sandbox. What is the meaning of refresh? What is the meaning of refresh? Now, today I am a tester, boss. I am a tester. Developers have developed one functionality, gave for release. Today I tested this functionality. Today, what I have done? Took a fresh copy of production. Today I took a fresh copy of production. Whatever that is there, I have that copy. I tested on that copy. Then after 1 month, again they told me to test again. During this 1 month, a lot of changes have happened on the production, right? What is the copy I have? Whatever the copy I have taken 1 month back, I have that copy. During this 1 month, a lot of changes have happened in the production. You might have enabled the option, disabled the option, you might have added a new button, removed the button. I don't know all those changes. So what I will do? Refresh. When I refresh, old copy is removed, fresh copy is given to your environment. I hope you are good with this. Everyone is good, right, boss? So this is all about environment. So people have production, developers environment, testers environment. Developers environment is Developer Sandbox, Developer Pro. Testers environment is partial copy and full copy, right? Full sandbox. Anyone has any queries on this now?